welcome to Confessions of a Yarn Addict, episode 45. My name is Anniken. I design knitting patterns and teach knitting workshops, and I live in the southwest of England. I publish videos on YouTube every Friday, and the videos are a mixture of the Confessions of a Yarn Addict podcast, knitting tutorials, and yarn and knitting product reviews. Today, in this episode of the podcast, I'm going to share two new designs, one for a book, one for a magazine, finish two new cast-ons, I think it's two, some new yarn, and just a few little bits and pieces that have happened since the last episode. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please give the video a thumbs up if you like it, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. So this section should really have been in my last podcast episode, but I forgot to film it. When I filmed all the bits where I was talking about what I'm knitting and the intro and ending of the podcast, the bag with this yarn was actually sitting right at my feet and I forgot to do it, and I thought I need to put it away, so I thought I'd film this quickly. Last Saturday I was teaching at Truro Wool in Cornwall, and the workshop was actually not in the shop itself because we had quite a big class, so we were in a nearby venue, which was lovely. And I popped over to the shop after the workshop to have a quick look. I had hoped to actually film a bit from the shop, but it was quite late and quite dark, and there were other people in the shop, and it's quite a small shop, so I just forgot about doing it. But next time I'm in Truro, I will try and film a bit and show you what it looks like, because it's a really lovely shop. So if you visit Truro in Cornwall, please do visit. It's a lovely shop. But I was thinking about my next crochet blanket, because I'm hoping by the time this podcast episode goes out, I will have finished my current crochet blanket. I haven't finished it quite yet. I'm hoping to finish it this weekend. So I was thinking about what to use for my next one, and I'm toying with the idea of making one that's big enough to go on our king size bed, which means I need to use slightly cheaper yarn. So I know that Stylecraft is very popular with a lot of people who make crochet blankets. And Emily, my daughter, actually used to do crochet a sweater with last year, and it actually feels quite nice. I don't really like wearing 100% acrylic because it just makes me feel hot and sweaty. So I don't like wearing it, but I don't mind it in a blanket. And I mean, my current crochet blanket is made out of merino, pure merino, which most of it I bought wholesale. My previous crochet blanket was made out of Monosol Uruguay silk blend, which is merino silk, which is very luxurious, but most of that was a leftover from various designs I've done over the years, because I used to use silk blend a lot in magazine designs, and also I used to do a lot of designs for the previous distributor, so I had a lot of it in my stash. So I basically did the crochet blanket to finish that off. So I'm thinking my next one, maybe I should go for something acrylic. So I picked up some Stylecraft, what's it, Stylecraft Special DK. So I wasn't sure what colours to get. I just wanted to get some just to see what it's like to crochet with and whether I like it. So I just picked up those two colours. I don't know if I like those two colours together, to be quite honest. I like both the colours, but I'm not sure if I like them together. The ball band on one of them actually fell off, so I'm going to tape that back on in a minute before I put it away so I don't forget what it is. But I just want to try it, and it's pretty cheap, so I just picked up two. I just want to try it and see what it's like, see if I like it or not. And then I also, I've heard a lot of good things about West Yorkshire Spinners Colour Lab DK, but I've never actually tried it, so I don't know what it's like. So I thought I would pick up a couple of balls of that and try it. So this is Colour Lab DK. Again, I just picked up random colours. I clearly had a thing about green that day. I like these two colours together. I haven't got a plan for this. I was thinking about maybe using this for a crochet blanket because it is DK. It feels slightly thinner than the Starcraft DK. This is the DK, isn't it? The Starcraft. Yes, it's a DK. I was thinking about using Starcraft Aran if I decide to do a full-size bedspread. I might use the Aran weight because it'll be quicker. And then I also got a pair of these. I had a pair similar to these once before, but they were much smaller and not very good quality. So I have a thing about scissors, and these aren't really scissors, but they're just snips. But I'm also thinking these might be useful if I don't use them to snip my yarn. They might be useful for things like snipping my orchids when I need to cut them down and that kind of thing. So what worries me is the fact that there's nothing kind of protecting these blades. I don't think I'm going to put it in my knitting kit. I think I'm going to keep it in my office, and they may be useful to things like snip my orchids and stuff, but I quite like them. So first I'm going to show you what just came in the post. This is the new issue of Let's Knit, so that's what it looks like. Let me just take this plastic off. Okay, so that's what the cover looks like. And that is my design. So I'm really excited about this. So this is the cover of the new issue of Let's Knit. It is issue 181, March 2022, and it is in the shops in the UK now. And yeah, that's my design. Nice bright yellow. Let me show you, see if there's some more pictures in here that I can show you. Let me just have a look and see if I can find it. I've literally not looked at it because it just arrived. So there we go. It is it's a little lace top. It has lace on the front and the back, and then the sleeves are in stocking stitch. So it's worked from the bottom up in the round to the underarms. Let's show you some more pictures. So it's worked in the round from the bottom up to the underarms, and then from the underarms it's worked back and forth separately, front and back, and then you join the shoulders, and then you pick up stitches around the armhole, and you knit the sleeves from the top down with a short row sleeve cap. It's not as difficult as it sounds if you haven't knitted that kind of construction before. I do have a tutorial for a different design I did for, I think it was Knitting Magazine last year, which I'll link to below. It's a different stitch pattern, different yarn, but it's the same principle, so I'll link that below. But yeah, looks like I'm really happy with the photos. So the yarn I knitted in is Macintosh Fabulous 4-ply. So yeah, it's really lovely. I'm really pleased with it. I really enjoyed knitting it. I actually knitted this one myself a few months ago. It was really lovely to knit. I love knitting with the yarn. It is quite bright yellow, but they do it in loads of other different colours. And Macintosh on their website actually have a selection of kits. So you can choose a kit in a choice of different colours. Fabulous comes in loads of different colours, and the kits on the Macintosh website also include a copy of the magazine. So if you haven't got the magazine yet and you fancy a kit for this jumper, this fabulous jumper, then I will put the link to the Macintosh website where you can find the kits below. You can of course buy the yarn separately as well, but you know, if you get a copy of the magazine as well with the kit, then why not? I've used Macintosh Fabulous 4-ply twice. I've actually got a design for another magazine which is blocking on my dining room table at the moment, which I can't share for a few months yet, but I've used the 4-ply Fabulous twice now, and I've used the DK Fabulous in my design for Knitting Magazine. Hang on. So earlier this month, no, last month, end of last month, in Knitting magazine, Knitting issue 227. Yes, Knitting issue 227 featured my, I think I shared this in the last podcast. So issue 227 of Knitting magazine featured my tuck stitch cardigan, and the green colour in that is Macintosh Fabulous DK. So I've used the Fabulous DK and I've used Fabulous 4-ply for 2 designs now, so you can say that I'm definitely a fan. The yarn is a blend of British Blueface Leicester and Mulberry Silk, so it is really, really luxurious. I haven't had a chance to look through this magazine yet because I did just get it. So yeah, that's all the garments. So that's all the garments that are in this issue. So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 garments, loads of toys, little baby things, like novelty things, Easter things. So yeah, it looks like a really good issue. Like I said, it only just arrived like 10 minutes before I started filming this. I will go and have a look at it later. It comes with a free gift every month, and this month it is Patch and Pals 6 Easy Knit Pups. I don't tend to knit these free gifts, but I used to give them to a friend who I haven't seen for a long time. So but yeah, aren't they cute? So if that kind of thing is your thing, then I hope you'll enjoy that magazine. It is in the shops in the UK now, and it is issue 181. I will put a link below to the Macintosh kits, so if you fancy knitting this top, I'll put a link to the kits below, and you get a copy of the magazine with the kit as well. Tonight is Cambridge Yarn Festival, which takes place on Instagram, so by the time you see this, it's actually happened. And I'm just in the middle of trying to set up. I have a really tiny office, and I have too much stuff in there, so I'm just trying to work out what I'm going to show off tonight, which designs I'm going to show off, how I'm going to set it all up so you can see some of my yarns and other things. At the moment I'm going to rearrange some of my stash, because some of my stash and the yarns I actually sell get kind of muddled up a little bit. So when I'm on Instagram, which is where this live is taking place tonight, it actually shows the yarns at the top there, but they are my personal stash and not the yarns that I'm actually selling. So I'm just going to have a quick reorganization of my stash just to make sure it looks alright for tonight's Instagram. Ready for your Cambridge Yarn Festival. I'm going to go live on their Instagram feed in a minute. I've got about 8 minutes left, 7 minutes. I'm just checking my setup. I'm already logged into their account. I'm just checking that my camera is in the right place and I look okay and the light is okay, and I got my second camera filming as well because I thought it might be interesting. So okay, that's fine. So I'm just going to hop back onto my Instagram and tell people I'm going to go live soon. Hello, it is nearly 7:10. In 5 minutes, 7:15 this evening, Tuesday, I'm going to go live over on the Cambridge Yarn Festival Instagram account. I will tag them here, so if you see this in the next few minutes, you can jump over and join me live. If you don't see this till later, then you can go over there anyway and watch the replay, because all the replays will be saved on their account, and you can see all the ones from tonight and all the ones from tomorrow. So I'll see you in a minute. So I'm just checking I've got everything here. I posted a little thing on my stories. I've got a pile of patterns here I'm going to go through and talk about and share. I'm going to talk about the yarns I sell, my online courses. I've only got like 12-13 minutes, so I don't have a lot. Oh, so I'm just checking everything on my Instagram. Oh, I hate them. I don't like it when the ring light reflects in your glasses, but it's difficult to not do it. I got 2 ring lights because it's evening. That's it's bright enough. Okay, let's check that we're okay. Okay. Okay, so I'm on the Cambridge Yarn Festival Instagram account now, and they have just done their Gem and Camilla, who organises it. They've just done their live. They just did a quick live to kick off, and they've done that. So I'm the next one to go live. I'm the first one tonight, but I do have 4 minutes left. So one thing I want to make sure I mention on my books. I haven't got very many left, but I do want to mention my books. So I need to make sure that that's somewhere handy. Then I want to talk about that one. I want to mention that one and that one. Got a pile of shawls here, so I can like them and show them off. Got to remember what they're all called, because that's not easy to remember. Okay, so then I got loads of yarn here to talk about and show off, and I got some yarn here. Let's just check that this looks okay. I'm going to try and push this one over a bit so you can be seen in the... It's really, I don't like this format of Instagram stories or Instagram lives because it's portrait, so it's very tall, but you don't get much in it, especially when you've got a tiny little room like me. But I have managed to get my books in the view at the back there, so that's good. I'm wondering whether, because I have to be off exactly 7:30 because somebody else will be going on immediately, so I've got to be off so they can log on. So I'm wondering whether I start a minute or 2 early. Or is that naughty of me? I don't know. this yarn arrived a few days ago, and this yarn is actually linked to what's currently on my needles. So this is a little bird sock from Lottie Knits. I'll put the link below. Lottie Knits little bird sock. It is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. It looks like quite a high twist yarn, so it's perfect for socks. I'm not actually using this for socks, so this is the colorway Peony. I'm not actually using this for socks. I'm actually using this for a new design. But Lottie kindly sent me more yarn than I'll need. So I will have probably 2 skeins left over. So I need to think of what to do with that, because this colorway is just so pretty. So it relates to what's on my needles. I used my new Little Grey Girl project bag, which I shared last time. And I've cast them for a new design. I can't show you the details. I'm going to tuck it away very quickly. Can't show you the details because it will be in a magazine. So I've been knitting on it for a few days now, and I think I've miscalculated the tension and it's going to be too big. When you first cast on something, it seems a lot wider than it actually is, and then after you've knitted a while, it kind of goes narrow, if you like. So quite often when you cast on, you knit the first few rows, you think, oh, this looks way too big. Then after a while, it kind of evens, you know, it kind of settles in. But I've knitted quite a few rows now, probably about that much, and it still looks too big. So I think I'm going to swatch in a smaller needle size this afternoon, and then tomorrow recalculate, because I think this is going to be way too big, and I don't want to knit too far because I do have quite a short deadline, so I don't want to knit too far in case I have to rip it out and start again. But the yarn is really lovely to knit with, but I've only got about 3 weeks, I think, to finish this. 2.5 weeks. I need to get on with it. So I have been doing a little bit of work on this cow. I can't remember where I was last time I filmed, but I was doing quite a lot on it until end of last week. So I've finished the first half, which is this bit, and now I'm actually on the second half. And I had hoped to like finish it maybe this week. I've done a third, I think. Yes. So it's got 3 repeats on each side, and I've just started the second repeat on the back, or the second side, if you like. So at this side, the light silver grey is the background colour, and on this side, the dark grey is the background colour. So I had kind of hoped to finish it, but I've had to start knitting on that. I got a commission for a magazine design, which is a bit of a last minute thing for this yarn, so I need to finish that, really focus on that before I can focus on this. But yeah, my 2 new project bags are in use. If you don't know what the project bags are, look at my last episode 44. So I kind of can't really focus too much on that cow at the moment, because I need to get this pink design done, and I've also got a couple other things that I'm knitting on for workshops and things, so I feel like I'm juggling a lot at the moment, and I need to really get on with it. So this morning I finished my corner to corner blanket, and I'm really happy with it. So I started down here with grey and pink, and then I increased until I get to the widest point, which is across here, and then I went straight. So you basically increase on one side and you decrease on the other side, I think. Yes. And then when I got to the end, so I started decreasing here, and then I ran out of pink yarn, and I actually bought this yarn wholesale when I started it, because I have a wholesale account with the UK distributor of this yarn. So I bought the yarn wholesale, and I only bought 1 pack of each colour because I wasn't sure how big it was going to be, and I thought I can buy more later. Anyway, I was getting to the point where I thought I only need like a ball of each probably to finish the main body, and then something for the edging. So I thought there's no point buying wholesale because then I have to buy a pack of 10. So I looked online and very quickly, and I also contacted a yarn shop, Spinny Yarn, and realised very quickly that this pink yarn is discontinued. I did find it on eBay, but it came from Germany, and I'm not ordering stuff from Germany at the moment because of Brexit. So I had some of this purple that I bought at Spinny Yarn last autumn, and so I asked Trish if I could buy 4 more balls, which she kindly sent to me. And I actually got 2 balls left, so I didn't need 4 balls, I only needed 2, but I got 2 and a bit left. And I got probably about a quarter of a ball of the grey left. So when I finished the main body of the shawl, I followed the tutorials by Blossom, I think it's Blossom Crochet. I will try and put the link below to actually do the blanket. And then she has a tutorial for how you can add a very simple, just a double crochet edging. So that grey, if you're very careful, you might be able to see some grey double crochet. So I did double crochet around the whole shawl, and then the rest of the edging is alternating between treble crochet, double crochet, and then I did this kind of like, let's fold it over so you can see it better maybe, I don't know. I did this kind of yarn over, not yarn over, eyelet row, and then I did a row of a round of double crochet, and then a round of half treble crochet. They're all UK crochet terms. By the way, the colour that's showing up on my screen at the moment for the pink and the grey look more accurate than it did at the beginning, but the purple is a bit darker than what is showing here. So I did kind of these eyelets. I don't know, the edging is not perfect. The corners are a little bit dodgy. When I tried to fold the blanket after, I just ironed it quickly, just around the edging, just to, because the edging was curling over a bit, and it is a little bit bumpy in places. The edging is not perfect by any stretch, but I'm happy with it. It's going to be used as a blanket. It is, I've measured it, but if I stand up, it goes from the floor up to my bust, and I'm 178 centimeters tall. It's big enough so that when I'm sitting in my chair knitting, it can go kind of from my, I can kind of tuck it under my arms, and it goes to the length of my legs. So, you know, I can kind of, it'll keep me warm while I'm knitting or crocheting, mainly knitting. That's the main thing I want. I've got another crochet blanket downstairs, which I crocheted in Manos del Uruguay silk blend, which lives on the back of my chair. But when the girls are home especially, they tend to use it, and quite often it gets left on the sofa, and then the dog quite often snuggles under it. So I'm going to try and keep this one away from the dog. It is knitted in Lang Merino 120, which is pure merino, and I'm really, really happy with it. So I can't wait for the yarn to arrive for my next crochet blanket. Not 100% sure when I started this. I'll need to go through my Instagram account and see if I can work it out, but I think it was beginning of last year. So I think I've done this in about a year or slightly less than a year, but I'm not 100% sure. Worked on it a lot to start with, probably didn't work on it much last summer, and then worked on it a lot recently. Lately I've been trying to work on a little bit most days, but not every day. But usually about 8, 8:30 I pick it up and try and work on it till I go to bed, which is usually between 9 and 9:30. I go to bed early. Anyway, the tutorial to do the blanket is from Blossom Crochet. If I can find her channel, I'll link it below, but she's got tutorials to help you get started. It's a corner to corner or C to C blanket, and she shows you how to get started, how to turn it from a square into a rectangle, and how to finish it, then how to do a double crochet edging, and then I just carried on with my own edging. So yeah, very happy with it. This book arrived recently. It is the Stock Knitting Bible by Lynn Rowe from D&C Books, David and Charles Books, and it is a book all about sock knitting. So I contributed a design to this book. The book was actually published, I think, at the end of last year, but the my copy only just arrived a few days ago. So there are loads of technique stuff. There are some really pretty designs in this book. So that's my pair of socks that I contributed. It is a lacy rib design with beads. So you can obviously do them without beads. I don't think beads are necessarily everyone's cup of tea on a pair of socks, but I was asked to design a pair of beaded socks. So that was kind of my brief. The yarn I used is Orchidea Luxury Yarns. It's the titanium socks, I think. But this book has got a thing on knitting in the round. It's got loads of pretty sock patterns, using all kinds of different techniques. That is my sock, that's the heel. That is another picture of my socks. So the yarn I used was Orchidea Luxury Yarn titanium sock, and I used size 6 seed beads from Debbie Abrahams, which are the beads I stock in my shop. Another pair of lacy socks. So there are loads and loads of patterns in here, some little twisted stitches. Loads of different sock designers have contributed. Cable pair. Photography is beautiful. Some really pretty socks, all kinds of different types of patterns. If I show you that page, because I'll show you some of the patterns in here. And then, so you've got all the projects, and you've got pages for different types of toes that you can do. And you've also got several pages going through different types of heels you can do, and different types of cuffs that you can do. Several pages on that. That's again are some of the socks in this book. That's fine. And then at the front, it's got a thing about how you can vary the different sock recipes. So you just got some plain socks there. And then at the front of the book, you got all this kind of technique type stuff, photos. You also got some technique stuff at the back, but here you got photos. That's how to turn a heel. It shows you all how to knit toe-up socks, cuff down socks, loads of different swatching, checking your tension and gauge, what kind of needles you'll need, different types of sock yarns that you can get, choosing the correct size. There's loads and loads of different things about sock knitting. So if you want a really comprehensive book about sock knitting, especially if you're new to sock knitting, but even if you've been knitting socks for a while, and maybe you stick to the same vanilla sock recipe all the time, this book is really good because it tackles different types of techniques, different types of heels, different types of toes, different cuffs, toe up, cuff down, loads of different variations. So I highly recommend this book. It is called The Sock Knitting Bible, and it is by Lynn Rowe. David and Charles is a British publisher, but I'm assuming it's probably available other places as well. Just do a search. I'm sure you can find it on Amazon and other places that sell books. But I will see if I can find a link to put below this video. As I'm juggling the cowl that I want to finish and a new design that I need to finish, I shouldn't really start something new, but I did. So you saw that I finished my crochet blanket, which is hanging on the back of my knitting chair, and I got some yarn from True, got some Starcraft. I didn't actually, so the idea with getting the Starcraft from True was to actually try it and to see what it's like to crochet with. Well, I didn't do that. I went on the Attic 24 blog. So Lucy from Attic 24 is really well known for crochet blankets, and she uses almost exclusively, I think, Starcraft Special DK. So, and it's a yarn that's very popular with crocheters. So I went on her blog. I used to be a regular reader, but I must admit I haven't read any blogs for a while actually. So I went on there a week ago and had a look around and looked at some of her patterns, because I thought maybe I should just get a pattern rather than just doing like a giant granny square, which is what I was tempted to do. So maybe I should just do a pattern. So I looked at her patterns, and also what she said about Starcraft Special DK, and she praises it quite highly. Then I went on Wool Warehouse, because they've got all the colours, I think, of Starcraft Special DK. And there are so many colours, and I couldn't decide on a colour theme. So I ended up looking at the, they've got some yarn packs there from Lucy at Attic 24. So some of her patterns, they've put together kits and yarn packs for some of her patterns. So I looked at those and I found a colour palette I liked, and then got it. So, but I haven't actually, I decided, so it came with this pattern, Harmony blanket. I did consider making the Harmony blanket that came with the yarn, but after thinking about it for a bit, I decided not to, partly because I don't really like following written instructions. If you had charts, I would probably do it. I don't like following written instructions, and also I just thought I'd fancy something easy. So I decided to go for a giant granny square. So I started it, and that's how far I've got so far. I'm not sure exactly how to combine the colours yet. The Parma Violet, there were 3 of these in the kit. I think I'm going to use that as my kind of background colour, if you like. And I just basically started with the 4 colours I wound. So the Starcraft comes in these kind of balls. You don't need to rewind these to knit it from them, but I tend to wind them into balls like this, because they just take up so much less space, and I find these a lot easier to knit from or crochet from than these. And you can see it's like half the size. So I only wound the colours that I've used in this square so far, and I'm going to wind a few more. I wasn't sure how to do with the colours, but to start with like all the purples, and then add in all the pinks and reds and the greens and blues, and exactly how to do it. I went to mix them all up. I'm not going to wind all the colours because there are a lot. So I might wind some more of the, so a couple of the purple colours. There's that one, and there's that one, and then there's that one which I'm already using. So I'm thinking about winding these and using a lot of purples to start with, but I haven't quite decided yet. I haven't worked on it a lot. I keep picking it up and doing the odd round, but I haven't really worked on it a lot because I've got these other projects I need to finish, like the cow and the new design I'm knitting on. I didn't actually sleep very well last night. I struggled to get to sleep, and then the dog started barking in the middle of the night. So I actually got up for about half an hour, and I did add a couple of rounds. So I did that one, those 2 red ones, purple ones, and then this one. So I did 4 rounds last night while I was watching a bit of Netflix. But this is not a priority project at the moment. It's just a project that's sitting behind my chair, and if I fancy a little bit just to switch off, I will grab it and work a little bit. But it's not a priority project at the moment because I need to finish these 2 first, and they're far more important. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. And thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Next week I have either got a tutorial for you or a yarn review. I'm not quite sure yet, but do watch out. There will be another video next Friday, so do watch out for that. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Thank you for watching.